What is up, guys? It is Astro here, and we're back with another Airmech Strike cast, and this time it is a 1v1 on Storm. This is a ranked 1v1 between ArcanosT in the blue team on the left side in the Gothic Striker, and versus Sport87recife in the Black Ops Striker on the red team. It looks like both teams, both players, not teams this time. I've been casting a lot of 2v2s lately, so kind of used to saying teams, but both players going pretty standard, neutralizing their outposts, leaving their creeps. Let's do it for them. Looks like ArcanosT did lose a few creeps here, so it looks like he's a little bit behind. Managed to kill Tier 45, neutralizing that base. Sport doing the exact same thing. Standard. Typical of high tier 1v1s. There is a strict meta that everybody follows and that everybody plays. Sport is a little bit ahead. Did cap this post slightly before ArcanosT, but ArcanosT is already working on neutralizing this post. He's going to lose a creep here. Yep, you don't want to lose your creeps, especially not in the early game. If you lose your creeps, you become behind in taking your outposts. As you can see, Sport did not lose any creeps, and he took his outposts a little bit earlier than ArcanosT. ArcanosT just now taking all three outposts. Sport with negligible credit lead, but it starts to add up, so don't lose your creeps in the beginning. Don't let your creeps get harassed. Very, very important. Keep your creeps. Keep your creeps, kids. Keep your creeps. So this should be a pretty good game. Both these players are pretty good players. ArcanosT I usually don't see in the Striker, so I don't know how good he is with Striker, but Sport is a player from PS4 actually. I played a lot with Sport. Sport, very, very, very talented player. If you watch the Pro of the Pros 1v1 tournament by Pro, Sport beat Attila, and Attila is #1 on the ranked leaderboards in 1v1 right now. Attila, very, very difficult opponent to beat. I have a hard time beating Attila myself, but Sport won out versus Attila in a 1v1 on this exact same map actually, so very talented player. ArcanosT, also very high tier, plays a lot, like a crap ton, and both these players are from Brazil, so it's a Brazilian face-off, I guess. Sport definitely in the lead with healing units, already has busters, has a better tank line, killed his goalie a little bit before ArcanosT, already level 4 to level 3, so I'd give the advantage to Sport right now. Sport already with an artillery up on the field, and looks like he's going to stack some creeps over here. I don't know what these creeps, yeah, he just plans to take it for a second, but this will be quickly neutralized. And ArcanosT, no healing units over here, which is a little bit strange. Especially when you start to see artillery out, you usually start to build at least a ratchet or two. It was pretty like standard. Sport with the honeypots, a little bit non-standard, but honeypots will survive better in an artillery fight. But ArcanosT doesn't seem to be building any artillery. So interesting. Oh, as I say that, he does bring out the one artillery and does have the ratchet now already, but a little bit slow to build those. Upkeep's 27 to 26, as even can be. Sport's creeps will walk in for just a second. Tesla Tower coming out for Sport, so that should be interesting. Tesla Towers, if his creeps do walk in, they can chain their attacks like from his creeps to these units, so pretty interesting. And then like ArcanosT will have a hard time pushing in. Looks like Sport is doing some harass with some creeps on the bottom. Did lose one creep, unlucky, otherwise he would have been able to take this post, but only 3 creeps are going to go in. Actually 1, because ArcanosT did react to it in time. So he's going to be okay. 2 honeypots, 3 artillery coming out for Sport. No units have been lost on either side yet, which is a little bit strange. Not even one been picked off. I don't know, maybe one did, I didn't see. Sport not really using the busters super effectively, keeping that one buster over here and this buster over here. Yeah, they're not really in range to kind of shoot or snipe tanks anything. So Sport not microing to the best of his ability. ArcanosT, on the other hand, clumping up his units so the artillery getting maximum damage. So he needs to spread out his units. He needs to build a few more ratchets, I think. This one ratchet isn't going to survive versus 4 artillery. And yeah, ArcanosT's going to start taking a lot of damage right now if he's not careful. And yeah, Sport finally moving the busters right into place to start sniping these units, keeping his units alive. 2 honeypots will take the damage, but 1 ratchet will not. And that ratchet is on the high ground over here, not even protecting these units. And ArcanosT's in a really bad place right now, forced to pull back. Needed to build some healing units a little bit earlier, I think, for sure. And Sport harassing with a few SAMs. I don't know how much is going to get done. We'll probably... Zapdos will go neutral, but I don't think he's going to cap it, yeah. Only 1 SAM walking in the end. And meanwhile, he should probably be using this time to take mid instead. But this artillery is still keeping this outpost neutral for now. So this artillery, actually this artillery is not shooting. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. So Sport just moving up really slowly. I think he can afford to be a little bit aggressive and just kind of micro or push his tanks out or micro them all over here. So I don't know why he's not. This is a trend I've been seeing a lot with players, is that they're really hard, like, it's really hard for players these days to kind of identify that they have a significant advantage. So Sport with at least a 10 upkeep advantage in 1v1 that's pretty substantial, but also he's got to notice that ArcanosT doesn't have any units here to neutralize this outpost, so he's perfectly free to just micro over. And Sport doing that now a little bit late, but like he could have done that like 2 minutes ago and already taken mid, maybe even started pressuring this outpost over here by placing units on the ledge, or started pressuring this outpost even. See now, so he's giving ArcanosT some time to build some tanks, but ArcanosT still probably doesn't have enough units to kind of pressure this. Actually, honestly, he could. If he just buried all of his tanks and his gaddies down like super aggressively, he could totally clear this. And Sport, again, being super cautious, just clumping up his units right here instead of moving over here. I guess he's waiting for that grinder. But yeah, still not with a firm, secure hold on that middle outpost. And that grinder is going to get saved. I don't know what he killed. I think he killed one gaddy. And maybe looks like something else over here. So got a decent bit of value for that grinder. Grinder going to die probably soon. Sport needs to rescue it. There we go. That grinder did get stasis, so it's going to move a little bit slower. And he could have left that there, honestly. There was only two Longhorn shooting, or a Longhorn and a Buster shooting at it. And it looks like ArcanosT going for some cheese, and Sport did scout that immediately with some creeps. And ArcanosT immediately bringing his gaddy and his Longhorn back. Honestly, could have left it and could have buried another gaddy over here. And then maybe this would have gone neutral. Ooh, sorry. My mouse is like derping all over the place. I accidentally clicked me up. My keyboard is actually broken right now. My A key is not working like that well. It like popped out and now it's like sticking a bunch too. So I've been trying to get used to spectating and casting with just the mouse like click and drag. So sometimes I end up accidentally like clicking the minimap and then I go like to random places like that for it. So it looks like in the meantime, Sport did manage to neutralize this outpost over here. Is going to drop the grinder here. Grinder derping a little bit, but and then ArcanosT also did neutralize over here. And he dropped 3 gaddies in return. Sport might get finished off. No, does not get finished off. And ArcanosT bringing a Seeker and a Longhorn over here. This outpost is not going to stay. Yeah, no, ArcanosT is definitely bearing over here. This outpost is pretty much blue. He just needs to bring over some creeps. And Sport definitely sees this now. Gonna bring over a grinder. Ooh, that's gonna do a fair bit of damage. No, the grinder's actually facing away from the gaddies, so its weak side is visible to the gaddies, and the gaddies actually snapping not only the grinder but also a honeypot over here. And Sport turning all his artillery to face over here, but ArcanosT could just move his units to this side, and that's exactly what he's doing. No, not exactly. He needs to bring over creeps and take the outpost. I don't know why he's not doing that. Now all of ArcanosT units are getting pounded, just pounded by artillery. And yeah, he just keeps faring over. He needs to bring some creeps, dude. If you bring some creeps, you can just cap it. And he's actually pushing out on Y. It looks like, oh, wow. This is a crazy move. There's no fort defense for Sport. And just now bringing over 2 Longhorn. And he sees this, but he's probably going to be able to deal with these units, honestly. Because all of these units are like smoking black. They're kind of derping. They're not really pushing together. This Longhorn isn't going out. This artillery and this gaddy and whatever is just taking damage. And it looks like in the meantime, oh, ArcanosT actually dropped a gaddy and a Tesla tower and a Longhorn up here to try and neutralize his base, and he's gonna take it. Actually, he brought some creeps over as well. But in the meantime, there are some tanks just pounding at Sport's fort, but Sport's gonna land and sword them all to death. Wow, those units died so fast. Wow, that was a little bit crazy. This outpost is still neutral. This outpost is blue. So ArcanosT kind of turning the tide of this game completely. 4 outposts to 1 for Sport, and wow, ArcanosT definitely with a potential comeback over here. And meanwhile, 2 Seekers brought over to try and neutralize this base. A little bit of fort damage did go down, and meanwhile ArcanosT is keeping this neutral and did actually take this outpost. But there is a Longhorn here to neutralize this, and creeps will walk in soon. So unless ArcanosT can get a firm hold on this outpost, I really don't know what if it'll be. Actually, he probably can. Okay, Sport bringing over 2 Longhorn now. ArcanosT needs to ferry over his units. No, don't try and neutralize that one. Keep this outpost. Keep this outpost. You can do it. Just bring over as many units as you can. Dropping gaddies. He needs to drop the gaddies behind the Longhorn. And the thing is, Sport has an upkeep lead, but all of that upkeep is in artillery. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artillery, 1 honeypot. one artillery over here. So he definitely spammed a lot of artillery and only has like 3 tanks actually. And meanwhile, this Tesla tower almost neutralizing this outpost. Sport did deal with that, and ArcanosT did take this outpost again, just spamming even more Gaddies. And Gaddies are actually really good to keep your opponent super occupied. Sport attempting to neutralize this outpost with some SAM drops, but he's super low on health and needs to get out of there. He's going to jump away, and he's going to be perfectly fine. But this outpost will probably get neutralized. This outpost did get neutralized as well. And Sport coming with a few SAMs. SAMs is not... You need to use creeps, dude. SAMs, you need to save your credits for tanks, because you don't have any on the field right now. Spamming SAMs is not that great because SAMs cost a lot more now. They cost 1,250, so every 4 SAMs you build is basically like sacrificing 1 tank you could have built. And Sport really needs tanks on the field right now. Something to counter these Gaddies. And he doesn't have it, and ArcanosT definitely has the credit lead because he has 1 more outpost. Sport right now currently has middle, but I don't think... Oh, sorry, I clicked the minimap again. But it's not going to stay blue for long, and it looks like he's actually going to take this outpost, but ArcanosT is here to deal with it immediately, and it looks like Sport's units down here are getting finished off. Ooh, this Buster facing 3 Gaddies in a long run, but the armor in front is getting healed by the honeypot as well, so it's just staying alive. The Gaddies, if they were placed behind to where the Buster is weak, they would do a lot of damage versus the Buster, but yeah. ArcanosT bringing some more creeps over, and it looks like he's actually going to take this outpost. And Sport really low on health, needs to jump up on his outpost. It's going to be fine. No one's actually died yet. It looks like Sport attempting to keep this outpost neutral, but all of these units are smoking black, dropping honeypot to heal him up a little bit. Honeypot's pretty low on health as well, and looks like ArcanosT's going to drop the Gaddies over here. This artillery's just been sitting here doing nothing, and 2 Seekers. Oh, this is really bad for Sport. He needs to get out of here. ArcanosT could kill him right now. No, he's going to jump away. ArcanosT actually is the one to go down, which is a little bit crazy. And Sport spamming some more tanks, and it looks like Sport finally getting a hold on this game. Bringing over some more tanks to try and deal with this outpost. There's a Longhorn here. Oh, this Gaddy needs to be over here to deal with it. And this Longhorn is actually getting distracted by the creeps, so it looks like Sport will probably take his own outpost back and have a firm, secure hold on mid. ArcanosT needs to build some more tanks, which is what he's doing. He needs to try and kill these units. Honestly, he could land in sword. There's no anti-air effectively for Sport. Sport is relying on his striker mech to do as much anti-air. And if he killed this one honeypot, which is 82 health, then all these tanks would slowly die to these creeps, which is what they've been doing pretty much the whole game. And ArcanosT needs to stay alive. Needs to stay alive here. Needs to stop and Q heal. Yeah, it's going to be okay. And Sport, oh, almost killing ArcanosT. ArcanosT did manage to get away just in time. And this is a big fight for this outpost. Whoever wins this fight will probably have a big advantage in the game. And all of Sport's units getting cleaned up, but all of ArcanosT's units also getting cleaned up, and ArcanosT forced to pull back. Upkeep is 10 to 25, and now Sport's upkeep isn't all in artillery anymore. Well, three artillery pieces, but the rest of it is in tanks and honeypots and stuff. So it's pretty good upkeep. It's not useless upkeep. And ArcanosT definitely could have just stayed there. I don't know why he chose to pull back. He could have won that fight. And Sport building yet another honeypot to heal up this honeypot. Honeypot's healing very good. And ArcanosT doing exactly what he did before to try and turn this game again. And that he's just burying over everything. But these are Longhorn, not Gaddies. So Longhorn are going to be more susceptible to the mechs. And the Gaddies will do more damage to mechs than Longhorn, because they don't get distracted as easily. And Sport ferrying over really aggressively. And oh, just cycling the artillery, good. That's exactly what he needs to bring out a Goliath. Ooh, this is really looking really bad for ArcanosT. ArcanosT needs to land and distract. And Sport just ferrying over more and more units continuously, and he has the outpost control, so he can dump units from his queue. And ooh, this is looking like the beginning of the end for ArcanosT. Sport definitely fighting it out from a pretty dire situation. And dropping the Goliath over here, but the Goliath isn't actually doing much because it's getting distracted by ArcanosT's mech. But yeah, this outpost does go neutral in the end. And ArcanosT, all of his upkeep is right here, and it looks like he's going to try and do what he did before, but Sport's wised up to it now, and he knows that ArcanosT doesn't have the upkeep to just keep ferrying over units over here like he did before. So he's forced to pull back. He needs to keep his tanks alive, and ArcanosT with a goalie of his own. And it looks like Sport actually did take ArcanosT's top outpost over here. So Sport with a decisive advantage, 5 outposts to 2 for ArcanosT. And just continually spamming spams high DPS. Sam's spam high DPS, but a little bit costly. So, but it's working out because Sport has the credits to spare his 20k in the bank. And Arcanos doing some fort drops. Ooh. Both these Longhorn actually on the corner. Yeah, both of them. No, this one isn't. It's hitting the side, and this one's hitting the corner. So this one will benefit from the decreased armor. But Sport will deal with this immediately. And in the meantime, Arcanos just healing up his Goliath.
Fortress under fire. We need backup.
So let's see what he does. Dropping Goliath in front of all of these tanks and pairing over a Buster tank and an artillery within tank range. And low on health himself, needs to get out of there. Has another Goliath on the field, but this Goliath, ooh, almost getting taken down. No, it's going to be okay. It's going to be A-okay. 200 HP on that Goliath. Needs to go heal that Goliath up. And it looks like that Goliath will be sniped by Sport. And that artillery did go down to some SAM fire and some creeps as well. And a Tesla coming out for Arcanos. Arcanos building pretty expensive units considering he doesn't have that much credit income at all. Only 100 credits from the fort, ticking up every second right now for Arcanos. Meanwhile, the Sport has credits from his fort and also 6 outposts to Sport decisively in the lead. This is looking pretty bad for Arcanos. I don't think there's a comeback coming in. But who knows? Let's see what happens. It looks like Sport, yeah, is definitely in the lead. Arcanos only like a goalie with like 10% of its health left, and he's going to heal it up at his fort. That's all he has to defend from all of these units for Sport. And all of the units up here as well. And domination damage is about to start ticking in, yeah. Sport just slowly dealing damage to Arcanos. Arcanos really low on health, needs to get out of there. This Goliath might get finished off. No. Oh, he saved the creeps, but not the Goliath. There you go. Pick up the Goliath and using the creeps to fight against the Goliath. Domination damage still ticking. Arcanos taking a bit of damage to his fort from that Goliath drop. And low on health might... Oh no, just not going to get finished off here. Domination damage is ticking. And Sport going to lose another goalie here probably unless he sees it. No, yeah, he will save it. Going to heal it up at his outpost. Needs to push on fort right now. Yeah, I think he'll be okay if he just pushes to fort with all of his units. There we go. Setting them on Y or whatever the fort command is. My fort command is Y. And yeah, this is the end for Arcanos. There is no defending this. Well played. Well played by both teams. I think Arcanos just needed to keep his units here, hold on to the outpost. He shouldn't have sent the few tanks that he had to the fort over here at the beginning. Should have, and then once he caught this outpost, he should have held on to it a little bit better. He definitely could have done it. I think him dying over here might have cost him the game, honestly. And he should have taken mid when Sport pulled all his units back to defend over here and here. And Arcanos definitely came back from what was looking really bad for him. That mid fight was not going well for him at all. Sport would have won the game off that mid fight if Arcanos didn't ferry over the units here. So I guess this is a pretty good game. Gives you guys ideas of what to do if you're losing the mid fight. That was definitely a good option. Arcanos definitely could have converted this outpost into a win. But yeah, just played a little bit sloppily, and Sport managed to take advantage of that and come back. So GG's. Well played to both players. Hope you guys enjoyed.